Here we are back at Vespers. What a blessing. How wonderful to be with you. Thanks for joining us for a part of Vespers, which is our gathering every night to connect with Rural and Migrant Ministries Overnight Leadership Camp. And our theme this week of Awake. Tonight, we're talking about connecting to our own power. And we have Janine Otis and Larry Marshall singing some wonderful songs about that. We have Stephanie Quintanilla joining us to sing a song. We have Alan, a camper, sharing his story about what camp means to him. And Ariel Marcus is going to be singing and inviting us to join her, This Is Me. And Jen Herman, who also goes by the name Self-Written Poet, has a powerful spoken word. So in a moment or two, Z will lead us in connecting and breathing and drumming, and we'll be off and running with Vespers.
Awkward. Hello. Today we want to sing a song for you called This Little Light of Mine. And we want you to sing along, and we will tell you what to sing, what verses to sing, what words to sing, okay? So listen out, and here we go. We're going to start with This Little Light of Mine. Listen to the melody, and then we'll do it the next time around, and then you will sing, and after that we'll tell you the words, okay? All right, here we go. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right.
Everywhere I go,
everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
all over the world,
All over the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All over the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All over the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Now you sing, we're gonna hum. One more time, you sing. Can I hear you? Now everybody, this little light of mine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Last time, everybody, and
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Woo!
Yeah.
An African proverb states, if you think you're too small to make a difference, you haven't spent a night with a mosquito. It takes 1 second to look away, and 1 second to look a friend in their eyes when they greet you. It takes 1 minute to fake small talk, and 1 minute to truly listen to a troubled friend. It takes 1 hour to watch a TV show, or 1 hour to rally in a political action. It takes 1 day for the sun to raise our spirits, and 1 night for us to rest and recover. It takes 1 week for the green strawberries to ripen, and 1 month to start a new pattern. It takes 1 season to go from a seed to a fruit, and 1 choice to change your life. It just takes 1. No matter how long or short you are planted, never doubt how deep your roots can grow, how much you can blossom, how much you can impact the rest of the community around you. And if you find yourself uprooted, know that wherever you land, you will carry your roots, your beauty, your wisdom, your voice, tu voz y tu luz.
Hey y'all, my name is Ariel. I'm the artistic director of Illuminar Productions on Staten Island, New York, and I'm so happy that I got to do this video for you all. This is a sing-along to a portion of This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. It's a song about just being yourself and being unapologetically you. So I hope you have a good time learning the song with me. I'll be singing it and putting music to it, so have a great time. And let's get on with the show. So this first section has a lot of emotion in it. The words are, when the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm going to send a flood, I'm going to drown him out. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be, this is me. So it's a lot of, self-reflection and knowing who you are and being proud of who you are. So it goes like this. I'm going to count in 1, 2, 3. When the sharpest words want to cut me down. 1, 2. I'm going to send the flood. I'm going to drown him out. This is brave. This is bruised. This is who I'm meant to be. This is me. Now with the music. The sharpest words want to cut me down. I'm gonna send a flood, I'm gonna drown him out. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be, this is me. The next section, the music comes in, it swells, and you also have to be so stand up, be proud, get excited, and the words are, look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. And you could do it up or down the octave. So with the music, it sounds like this. Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. So I cut that last section into 2 pieces. So after, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Again, up or down the octave. With the music, it sounds like this. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. And if you want, there is somebody in the background going, to the beat I drum. And if you feel you want that challenge, you could totally do it. And the last section, which might be my favorite section, is just O's and going crazy and having fun and celebrating you being you. And it kind of sounds like this. Oh, oh, ooh, oh, ooh, oh, ooh, oh, this is me. And you definitely want to do like some sort of pose at the end to represent you and just really have a great time. If you know how to harmonize, go crazy with the O's, riff, have fun. I'm just doing the basic melody, and it kind of sounds like this with the music. Some sort of pose that you want to do. All right, so now we're going to put it all together, really with all the emotion. Have fun with it. Just be yourself. One. The sharpest words want to cut me down. I'm going to send a flood. I'm going to drown him out. This is brave. This is bruised. This is who I'm meant to be. This is me. Here we go. Look out, 'cause here I come. Have fun. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. To the beat I drum. I make no apologies. This is me. Oh, rock it out. Oh, excellent. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. Practice it. Do creative things with it. Riff. Take it down an octave. Do an interpretive dance to it. Just have a good time. Thank you all so much, and happy summer.
Hi guys, I'm Alan Cruz, and right now it would be Vespers because it's nighttime, but unfortunately I don't have a bonfire like they do at camp. And what overnight camp means to me is it's somewhere where I can learn leadership and have lots of fun. And if you just put yourself out there, you can learn so many new things from the classes and activities that they give there at camp. And you can make so many new friends at camp. And something important that I learned is helping others. Because if you help others, then they could always help another person that needs help. And if you teach them and help them somehow, they could teach it to someone else. And so it would go on and on. And for example, RMM provided me transportation to the Poughkeepsie camp because I lived so far away from camp. And I'm thankful that they provided me transportation because I had lots of fun at camp. And the staff, counselors, and directors always help the campers if they need it. And so helping is important. And thanks for letting me make this video. Adios!
Hi, everybody. I'm going to sing for you Redemption Song. And I want you to sing along if you know the words, anytime you feel like it. This was a special request from somebody we know and love. And the song is written by the great Bob Marley. And it's considered an anthem of freedom all over the world. Oh, pirates, yes, they rob I, sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pits, but my hands were made strong by the hands of the Almighty, who followed in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever heard, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Woo. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop at a time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever heard, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop at a time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever heard, redemption songs, songs of freedom. Won't you help to sing with me, these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever heard, redemption songs. One more time. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever heard, redemption song.
Hi, my name is Stephanie, and today I'm going to be singing for you guys a song that I wrote, and it's basically about not being afraid to go and finding what you love to do and whatever makes you happy, basically, and loving yourself in the process and not being scared to be yourself. Tell me a story before I go. The one about the birdie who followed the rules. They danced all night long to their favorite song. Didn't cry at all, was free at last to follow the road, bringing them home. They travel through mountains and pretty high falls. Oh, reaching their destination of feeling belonged and feeling loved. Feeling love, knowing being themselves was enough. I left town the very next day, hoping I would find my way like the birdie did. It found its voice. The birdie did, humming with joy. I traveled through mountains and pretty high falls. Oh, reaching my destination, but feeling belonged and feeling loved. Feeling love, knowing being myself was enough. Feeling love, knowing being myself was enough. Feeling love, knowing being yourself was enough.
What a day at the diner, at the Silver Diner today. They were all gathered under a huge tent because there were thunderstorms. And Cool and Esperanza were talking, and Cool goes, "Holy moly, my head is swirling." And Esperanza says, "What's holy moly mean?" And Cool goes, "I don't know, but it's an expression my grandmother used to use, and it just means my head's swirling." And Esperanza said, "Well, why is your head swirling?" And Cool said, "Well, there's so much going on right now. You know, there's this whole debate about whether school's going to open or how it's going to open, and are we going to be in some classes or all classes? Are they going to do it virtually? And then there's the whole issue about Soul, and he's still in jail, and I don't know when he's coming out. You know, he was protesting, and now he's in jail. And the landfill," and Esperanza said, "What about the landfill?" "Well, you know, there's that landfill outside of town, and it smells like you wouldn't believe, and now they're talking about whether to build another landfill, and everybody's debating on that, but oh, it just smells awful, and why can't New York City send its trash somewhere else?" And Esperanza said, "Oh, I just don't know if this is going to work out. I'm overwhelmed too. Holy moly." And they both just smiled at each other and laughed. And just then Shorty came up. You know, Shorty is an abbreviation of short pants, or shortcut, not short pants, that's pants, but shortcut, you know, because Shorty's always looking for a quick way to take a shortcut through things. And Shorty came running up, and he was smiling, and he said, "Did you hear what happened to Buck?" And the girl said, "No, what happened to Buck?" And he said, "Well, you know, Buck De Niro, that parking lot right next to his diner." And Esperanza said, "Yeah, the one that has that really nice old man that takes the parking lot fees for using that." Yeah, that's cut said that. Yeah, that's the guy. Well, you know, he's been there for like 20 years. And then a couple days ago, he didn't show up. And so Buck called up the city to say, hey, your parking attendant is not showing up, you know, nobody's charging any fees for the parking lot. And the city guy said to Buck De Niro, that's not our parking lot, that's your parking lot. And Buck said, what do you mean that's my parking lot? And the city said, yeah, now that we're looking it up, that's your parking lot. You own that parking lot. And Shorty started laughing and laughing because this guy was charging $10 a car, and there were like 30 cars in the parking lot, and he was there for like 20 years. The guy made over $1 million, and now he's disappeared. And the other funny thing is the city's now telling Buck he owes taxes on that money. Ah, poor Buck. And they were laughing and laughing. And as they were laughing, Soul came walking up. And they all looked at him and said, Soul! And he said, yeah, they finally let me out of jail. They didn't charge me for anything. And I don't know why. I didn't understand, but I'm happy to be out. But, you know, we got to keep going. And Esperanza said, well, what do you mean we got to keep going? Buck said, you know, there's a common thread in all of this. The common thread is that those in power don't want to hear our voice. And Esperanza said, oh, even if they did hear our voice, what can we do? We can't have an impact. And just then Soul said, well, you know, that reminds me of a story that my grandmother used to tell me. And Esperanza said, well, what's the story? And he said, well, a long time ago, there was this village, and the village was overseen by a prince. And the prince was able to be really successful because all the people in the village worked together to make things work, not just for themselves, but for the prince. And the prince became very wealthy. Well, one day, the prince announced that he was getting married. And he wanted to invite everybody from the village, but one of his advisors said, no, this is an important wedding, and you should only have those who have a lot of money. And the prince said, well, how do I know who has a lot of money? And the counselor said, well, by the way they dress. Well, the prince sent out the invitation and said everybody had to get dressed really fancy. And people didn't have fancy clothes. They didn't know what to do. So they decided they couldn't go to the wedding. But there was one man in the village who was a very wise man, very well respected by the prince and everybody else. And he spent many days gathering little bits and pieces of different things. And he made the fanciest outfit. And he went to the wedding. He walked up the streets to the palace. And as he was walking up, the people in the village saw him and thought, what are you doing? And the man said, you'll see. He said, well, but where'd you get such fancy clothes? And he said, they're not really that fancy. They just look fancy. And the people said, well, how come we can't go? And the man said, just hold on. So the man gets to the front gate. The guards are there. The wise, well, actually he wasn't that wise, but the counselor to the prince was there. And he looked at the old man and he said, now that's how you get dressed up. You are ready for a wedding. You are fit for the prince. Come on in. So the man walked in, and he walked into the huge banquet hall, and he sat down amidst all the other fancy guests, and the prince was sitting at the front table there with his bride, and the old man said, could you pass me the mashed potatoes? And they passed him the mashed potatoes, and he took a big scoop of mashed potatoes, and he lifted up his sleeve, and he dumped the mashed potatoes in his sleeve. And there was silence, because everybody was watching. And they were all confused. And the prince was confused. And then the man said, could you pass me the gravy for my mashed potatoes? And they passed him slowly the gravy, and he took the gravy, and he poured it down his sleeve, and then he poured it on his clothes. And then he said, could you pass me the roast beef? And the prince said, oh no, we're not passing the roast beef. And the prince said, what is going on here? What are you doing? And the man looked at the prince and he said, well, clearly, what's important here are my clothes and not me. And so I'm feeding my clothes. And then the prince got it. And he looked at the man, and the man looked back at him, and the old man winked, and the prince winked. And the old prince called to his guards, and he said, quickly, send the announcement out to the town that everybody's invited to the wedding, no matter what they're wearing. And everybody came rushing up to the banquet, and there was this great feast. And Saul sat there and smiled, and Esperanza smiled, and Cool smiled, and Saul said, you know, there are creative ways to get our voices heard, because our voices are needed to make a difference. We can make a difference. I hope you've had a great day. I hope tomorrow will be even better for you at camp. And remember, if you're going to be awake, our theme this week is awake. If you're going to be awake, then be awake. And have a great night.